See if I can get this up a little bit.
I'm like really washed out, but oh well.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're able to talk to me today.
Yeah, finally have a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll try to just keep this like 15 minutes unless you have more you want to talk about. But let's see. So if you want to just kind of introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your journey, what was it that you were struggling with that led you to look into food sensitivities?
Okay, I'm Charlene. I'm a single mom. I have a 28-year-old special needs son that I take care of all on my own. So sometimes it gets, difficult because he is bigger than I am. It all started years ago. Whenever he was little, I started getting migraines, and I didn't realize what was going on. So the journey kind of started, well, like I said, before I even realized that I was fixing to take a journey. I'm sorry, I'm not real good with the speaking.
Oh, you're
Anyway,
fine.
so as time went on, my migraines got worse. Had no idea that it had anything to do with any food sensitivities or anything like that. I was always a small person, so I never had to worry about what I ate. But like I said, as time went on, I continued to have them more and more, tried different medications, and then I started having pain all over, and I would have muscle spasms. Like I would go to bed fine, and I would wake up in the morning, my whole neck and my back, my shoulders would all be completely stiff, like I couldn't move. So going to the doctor, they prescribe medication to take care of your symptoms, but you never really get to what is actually causing all of your problems. So, it just kind of helps to ease it a little bit for now, and then you have to take another pill. So I was on medicine for migraines. I was on medicine for muscle relaxers. I had insomnia. I could not go to sleep. My brain just would not shut off at night. But then I was so exhausted in the morning that I couldn't wake up.
Oh my gosh. So you're stressed, you're tired, you're taking care of your kid.
Being a single mom, all the stress from that. So I started going to the chiropractor for, the muscle spasms and all the pain. And I was doing a lot of massages, chiropractic, adjustments and things like that. And I always had to do things different because normally you would get a massage and then get your adjustment. And I actually had to do it opposite, because when I would get my adjustment, it would kind of sometimes aggravate things. So then I would get my massage to kind of ease it out. So it helped for a little bit, but then it didn't last very long. So I was spending a lot of money going to the chiropractor and doing all this stuff, and I never found, was not finding any relief.
Right. So everything was like symptom management at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually, my chiropractor also got into wellness, natural medicine. And so I was in there one day to get my adjustment, and we're talking, and he was like, have you ever thought about eliminating things from your diet, to see if that would help? And I was like, well, I had no clue that anything that you ate would cause any of those issues. So he said, just start off with dairy and see how that makes a difference. So I didn't whenever you hear that and you don't realize how many things like in the package things has dairy in it, how many different names dairy has. So there were things that I was still eating that had dairy in it, and he had to really say, look at the stuff that you're eating, read the ingredients. And I was really surprised. So once I got rid of processed foods and started just eating real food, it kind of made a difference. But there was so, and especially here in the South, we're raised on certain things, like that's just what you eat.
Yeah.
And it's hard to change, and then people look at you and they're like, I couldn't live if I had to eat that way,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to live. I want to
Yeah.
actually have a life. So it was so bad, I was willing to try whatever to feel better. So the next step was to do some testing, and we did and I forgot to look up the name of the test, but one of the, where you spit in the tubes and you send it off, and they test it for like food allergies, but it tested for more than that, because also there were some chemical things that came back that I would have never known about had I not done the test.
So is it looking at like cortisol and DHEA as well? Like stress hormones?
Yes, he did. Yeah, did test those too. A lot of hormone stuff. I mean, it was a really big test. It tested a lot of stuff that just going to your regular doctor doesn't normally test for.
Mm-hmm.
So what came back on the results was that dairy was one of my biggest reactors.
Mm-hmm.
Propylene glycol. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
You never even think of.
It is in everything that you use over the counter. Everything from shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, over the counter medications, everything. And that is also one of my biggest reactors. And I'll tell you a short story. Last week we were going on vacation and I had to get a spray tan. By the time, within a couple of hours, because I know, normally I check the labels on everything. Because I know now.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about checking it on the spray tan. Within a couple of hours, my head just started, I was getting foggy headed. My head was starting to hurt, and we were leaving the next day to go on vacation.
Oh, wow.
And sure enough, by that evening, I had a full-blown migraine. Taking migraine meds. I was in bed before 9 o'clock. Woke up in the middle of the night, had to take another one. The next day, I had some more errands to run. So I'm like, I'm going to run by there and just look, because I have a feeling. Sure enough, when I read the ingredients on the label, propylene glycol was in there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It hides.
So, and I mean, it's in everything. It's not something that, you would normally think to eliminate from your daily use that would cause migraines. So once I had got the test done and found out all of this stuff, and we really went into detail on how to eliminate things and what to watch for and stuff, it, like, within the first few weeks, it was a complete, I mean, I couldn't remember feeling that good.
Yeah.
I had so much energy. I was able to do things because I would come home from work, I would be exhausted. I was having to take something to wake up in the morning, but then I had to take a sleeping pill to go to sleep at night. Muscle relaxers, migraine meds. I was on a daily migraine medicine, which made me lose so much weight. I was down to 96 pounds.
Oh my gosh. How tall are you? I mean, I know you said you've never been big, but.
Now I weigh 115. I'm 5 foot. Okay. I got a little fluff on me. I'm 50. But
you have a healthy life, it sounds like now.
Yes, I'm able to work out. I'm trying to be a runner. I do my own yard work. I'm able to actually do things where I could not before. I just did not have the energy.
And I saw those pictures on your profile. Like, do you do rock wall climbing, or is that OCR work? Or
that was a thing that was here last year. There's a gym, a local gym that does this thing like once a year. It's a training center, and they have this just for a fun run. And so they had different obstacles and things like that. And so they had the that small rock wall, and they had, the tire flipping and different balancing things and rope climbing and all kinds of stuff. So it was cool to kind of see how far I've come whenever I couldn't do anything before. And I had lost so much muscle mass from whenever, I couldn't do anything. I was just sleeping all the time.
Yeah.
And so I did it just out of curiosity to kind of see how far I've come. So, and I was really surprised at the things that I was able, because the rock wall was one of the things that was so much fun, and I wanted to ring that bell, and I did. So it was
awesome.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't think you probably would have been able to do before, figuring out
Absolutely
your
not.
toxic triggers.
No.
That is awesome. So when you started out, your goal was basically, it sounds like, just quality of life, basically. The pain, the sleep, the migraines, energy. Clearly you've seen some results in that. And you said it was just a couple of weeks, right?
Once I found out what all my triggers were and eliminated all of that from my diet and the daily, use of things, and it all got out of my system. Yeah, it was just a few weeks. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was just like I was waking up early, and I've never been a morning person. I was waking up, I had all this energy in the morning, not just dragging out of bed and, having to take hours to get going. So it was an amazing difference.
Really cool. And so work is better, and energy to take care of your kids sounds better, and to take care of yourself sounds better.
Yes.
Had you ever tried like any other sort of dietary approaches before, like a general elimination diet? Or
no, I didn't, because like whenever we had originally talked about it, well, the first time that he had mentioned it to me, like I had no clue that any of that would cause all of those symptoms. So whenever he brought it up to me, then I kind of started, searching and looking at different things, and I'm seeing all this stuff, that how different foods affect our bodies, and every body is different, and they react differently to different things. But I have learned, and I keep a food log, because I work with a trainer to build strength, and so I keep food logs, and I try to watch, like, whenever I may try to add something back into my diet, how it affects me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pretty much follow a paleo diet pretty closely.
Nice.
That's the closest thing
to,
just because of all the things that I've had to eliminate. Like, I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, sugar-free. And people are just like, what do you eat? But if you just, I know, just eliminate your processed foods. Eat real food. Yes, you have to cook. I had to learn how to cook. You can't just come home and eat a frozen pizza and be okay, Sunday is my day to cook and meal prep. And
that's what I was getting this morning. I was out at the grocery store.
I do my shopping on Saturday. Sunday, I don't leave the house. I do all my cooking, I meal prep, put everything together. That way, I don't have to worry about it during the week. I can just grab something and, my meals are already ready. It does take some learning. It does take some getting used to. It does take changing your life around. But if you want an actual good quality of life, isn't that worth it?
Yeah.
To me, it is. I have a kid that I have to be present for, and I can't just be laying on the sofa all day, or, so it's really been a blessing to find out all of the things that were my issues that were causing all of that.
That is amazing. Yeah. I didn't even have any overt health issues when I did it. But I've been running so many clients through programs. I'm like, I need to experience that restriction and that progression. And yeah, within like 7 to 10 days, I'm in the gym and I'm like, I'm ready for 2-a-days. I'm recovering faster. I had more energy. I felt amazing. And I started learning, little triggers, just little things like grapes or raisins made my knees ache a little bit more on the treadmill the next day. And then all the way to people like you who, fibromyalgia and Crohn's disease. And so it's amazing. I tell people, I'm like, there's no silver bullet to health, but this is as close as you can get, I think. It's really incredible the results people get. So I'm really excited to hear your story. I love that. It just like, it lifts me up. I love it. So what do you wish you could tell other people who are still skeptical about like leaky gut and food sensitivities, or maybe they're on the fence about making a financial and a personal investment into testing and sticking to such a rigorous diet at first?
As far as the financial part, I would say that you will probably come out ahead if you actually just bite the bullet and do the test, because when you think about all of the doctor's appointments that you have to go to, all the medications that you're on, for not feeling good, that you're trying to eliminate these symptoms with medications, you're putting more chemicals and toxins and things into your body, and then that's just causing other issues, and it's a never-ending cycle. But if you just take that one step and just do it and find out exactly what you need, what your issues are. And I would think that there are probably a very few people maybe that, well, I guess I shouldn't say that, because I'm in no way a doctor. So I say you really have nothing to lose. If nothing comes back, and then you're still in the same position, but at least you know that, okay, well, it's not this that's causing it just eliminates one of the things. For me, it was well worth the money, because like for dairy, I wasn't big on drinking milk, but I was like cheese on everything. Nachos were my favorite. Cheese on salad. I could just sit and eat chips and cheese dip for supper. That was how, my son at the time was on the feeding tube. So I was only cooking for me. So who wants to cook big meals, for one person? So it was so much easier to just come home and grab some chips and dip or something. But those were all the things that were hurting me. So I would say that once you find out, and there's probably things that you would never think of. And if you actually search some of those things, then you see like all the issues that dairy causes. It's really eye-opening. I would say it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap test, but I would say it's worth it. Definitely.
It's been worth, the little bit of financial investment for the energy and the life freedom. It sounds like kind of the quality of life you have gotten back, which is priceless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else you'd like to share?
I'm not sure what else. I'm just thankful that I was able to find people that would actually listen to me finally, because a lot of times you go to doctors and they just, okay, well, you have this symptom, well, let's take this medicine, and this is going to help you. And it's sad to see family, I try to talk to family, and I have different family members that have like migraines, or I have family members that have high blood pressure and things like that. And I'm like, I try to talk to them and tell them, of course, like I said, here in the South, you're raised a certain way and eating certain foods that are high in cholesterol, and everything's deep fried down here. And it's just hard to change your habits.
Yeah. What was your support group like? I mean, did you have certain friends and family, or is it kind of like lone wolf?
It was pretty much lone wolf. I have a big family, but my mom's kind of the type that she was really skeptical. And she was the one that told me, oh, if I had to eat that way, I just wouldn't eat. Well, now she's on blood pressure medicine because she has high blood pressure, and it's a family thing. I've never had issues with my blood pressure. But a lot of my family is on medication for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of the foods that they eat. It's that they don't move, they don't exercise. My mom's gained weight. She's working on it now. She's making herself get out and walk. She doesn't want to be on any more medication. My sisters, which are younger than me, have started trying to watch what they eat and change their diet. They're not 100% like me, but they don't have all the issues that I have. But it's more seeing how things changed with me. And then now they're getting up in age, and they're like starting to see certain things. And they're like, okay,
planted little seeds in their mind.
So now they need to make a change.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was pretty much me by myself. The hardest thing is whenever you're doing like family get-togethers, holidays, and you have all this stuff that you've done for so many years, as far as foods and desserts and things like that. Everything has dairy in it, because you have cream cheese stuff, you have sour cream, all these things that we're just used to having because it's what we've done for so many years. And then now you have to try to find alternatives, or like a lot of times I bring my own food. We had something about a month ago, and my sister had cooked, and there were a few things that I could eat, but they cooked, and they use different seasonings than I do. So for the biggest part of my meal, I brought my own food. And my mom looks at my stuff and she's like, that doesn't even look like enough. I said, wait until I get it on the plate. And so I did. And when I fixed all of my stuff, because I had a lot of vegetables, I had a lot of salad stuff, spinach and, and things. And that filled up my plate. And when you fill it up with more vegetables, then she saw, and she's like, oh my God, I couldn't eat all that. So
volume is there,
right? But whenever you exactly, and you feel, and then I feel so much better afterwards, and they're pushing the plate away after eating half of what they put on there, and they're like, oh my God, I can't eat anymore. It makes such a difference what you put in your body as to how you feel. It really does. But you don't see that until you actually give it a fair shot. I would say give it like really stick to something for about, I would say at least 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Give it a month to really clear out your body of all the toxins and everything, and see how you feel before you start adding things back in. Right. And then whenever you start adding things back in, then you're going to notice how different things make you feel. And I'm not 100% perfect. I'm not. There are times I have found out that Oreos are dairy free, and that was the worst thing for me to find out.
Yes, they are. They are pure vegan.
They, however, are not gluten free. So I do still feel kind of sluggish after I eat a whole pack of Oreos.
Planned treat.
So I just don't buy them anymore, because I have no self-control. Yeah. So the self-control comes into leaving it on the grocery store shelf. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, every once in a while I'll do something that, you got to treat yourself every once in a while. But as long as you don't live there, stay in it, then it's okay.
That's awesome. Oh, well, I'm really glad you took time to share your story, Charleen.
Thank you for inviting me.
You've got one of those definite life changer stories on it, and that is really cool. And that's really great that you are at least kind of putting that example and that idea in your family's head, because family resists there.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Family is your hardest ones to accept your life change, what you have to do. It is. And that makes it hard on you. It's hard to accept that, but you have to do what's best for you and your health. And then if you have kids, you have to worry about your own family. So, yeah.
So what's next for you? Got a big goal, big training, race thing, anything coming up that you're working on?
We don't have any local races around here right now. Everything's we're just now kind of opening things back up. Gyms just opened back up. I usually work out from home, so I work out with the trainer online. Nice. I just started a new 12-week program. So I'm just trying to gain strength back, increase my strength and flexibility, and build up, still working on building up that muscle that I lost. It takes, you have to think about how many years it took for you to get where you are. It didn't just happen overnight, and it's going to take time to get to where you want to be. So it's a constant, you just have to keep working on it every day.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I love it.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's really good to get to see you and to talk and hear your story, Charleen. I was excited about it after we texted a little bit on Facebook. So
yeah, I'm excited to share it.
Yeah. So I'll get this edited up a little bit so it's not too long, and share it and send you a copy if you want it. And I love hearing this.
That'd be great.
So
okay, thank you
have an
so
awesome
much.
rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, and I will talk to you later. I'm sure I'll see you around Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.